Okay. So you see, I'm trying to do a little meditation on how can you know? So the thing is, I want to talk about something, but I'm not like a pastor or a preacher or a prophetess or a prophet or a praise dancer, or they didn't even let me do the announcements. I have a fairly good head on my shoulders. I mean, I know a thing or two. Basically, what I'm saying is I'm excited to talk to you about something based on my experiences through that lens. But I mean, you can take this with a grain of salt. You can take it as something that works for you, something that you might want to apply. But I do think we should talk about it because I got thoughts I want to share. You know what I'm saying? Before we get into all that though, I just wanted to go ahead and welcome you to the channel. So, hey y'all, my name is Shannon Ray, yes, in the flesh. So I wasn't sure of how to approach this because, like I said, I'm not a professional in this area, but I am a person who has led a life and who has some experiences, and I have a voice, and it's my channel. So why not go ahead and, just dive in. Sorry. I noticed that when I got married, or maybe a little bit after I got engaged, I kept getting this same question of, how'd you meet them? Or I would get, how did you know they were the one? And to be honest with you, the whole how did you meet them or how did you know that they were the one, I don't think that there's a very specific type of formula that you can put together to make yourself be in the relationship of your dreams. But I do think that there are some things that you can do in your dating life that put you in a better position to be open to receiving what you've actually asked for, as well as being careful what you're asking for. I had to do some work because I had to realize that some of the things that I wanted were preferences and some of the things that I wanted were prejudices. These are very, very different concepts. However, if you are not careful and you are not being thoughtful about your intentions and why you're making your choices, you will find yourself in that prejudice box. I do not feel that I can tell you how to find the one, but I do feel like I can tell you what I was doing to keep myself from finding the one. There is nothing that makes anybody more worthy of love than anybody else. I don't believe in that. I don't think that prettier people have easier times. I don't think that more men with more money necessarily have easier times. They might have more access to people, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to get the quality that they're looking for or the mate that really, really is what they need to fulfill purpose, to fulfill dreams. I think, and I believe women especially, are so indoctrinated by the idea that our lives start when we find our partner or our mate. And I think that Lifetime, Hallmark, Disney, and history play a large part in that. I believe the first thing that blocks potential for really truly finding a good partner, a good connection with someone, is getting caught up in physical appearance. Are they light skin or dark skin? Okay. Are there abs or flab? Are we working with long hair? Is it weave? Is it short hair? Are they natural? Are they tall? Are they short? There are a lot of ladies out there who are really afraid of having to wear flip-flops for the rest of their life. But sometimes you need to look into that flip-flop love. I actually find the idea ridiculous that we really won't approach someone, we really won't give someone the time of day if they don't fall into our category of what somebody looks like. Baby, that is not your preference, that is your prejudice, and that is part of the reason why you aren't meeting people who are quality. They all have the same swagger, they all have this image that you deemed as to be most attractive, and that most attractive is keeping you in the same place over and over again. I mean, do we really like reruns that much? Let's just do a little work. Let's just put a little effort into finding something that actually really matters. The second thing that I think really comes in between couples coming together and finding real connection is financial status. Let me be clear. I by no means am telling you to go throw caution to the wind or throw your standards out the door and just date whomever. Absolutely not. But I want to be clear about being honest about what things are keeping you or holding you back for something. Is it the type of car that you see them driving? Is it status? When you ask someone what they do, are you curious about what the passion is behind their work? One thing I really try to remember, especially as I was going through the process of dating, is that sometimes when people react a certain way or say a certain thing in rebuttal to a question that you've asked, it's because you caught them in the middle of an experience. There is a past related to that. There are triggers that you might have accidentally stumbled upon. So financial status tends to be one of those questions. I think it is absolutely okay to want someone who is financially responsible, whether you are making $60,000 a year or $600,000 a year. It doesn't matter. It's about how you spend, how you budget, how you save. Those things you find out in that dating process. But I think that if we look at someone and we find out that there's something awesome like a teacher, but we automatically assume they have no money because we've all heard what teachers make, then if that eliminates them immediately from even being worthy of talking to you, is that a preference? Or are we kind of tiptoeing into that prejudice category? We put so much pressure on people, and a lot of times it's because there is a gap that we want someone else to fill. You're asking somebody to be a millionaire when you can't even handle being a hundredaire. Maybe they only have this certain amount of money or this certain salary, but how they're handling that certain amount of money, that certain salary, how they're navigating their career at this time gives you an indication of where they could possibly go. By no means do I feel like you should just marry someone with potential and hope for the best, but definitely be open to connecting with someone who is in progress. You see someone who is in school, they're going to graduate. Their opportunities are likely going to be better. You see someone who's paying off their debt, they have an actual plan, they're making moves happen. Maybe they're not able to take you on fancy vacations at the moment, but they are working a plan to put themselves in a better place. That's somebody you need to get to know. Someone's worthiness does not have to do with their status, and equality is not tied to their salary. Bag lady, you gon' miss your bus. You can't hurry up, 'cause you got too much stuff. If you are carrying baggage from previous relationships, previous traumas, previous hurt, and you tiptoe them right on into your relationship or your connection, situationship, which we'll get to that on another day, you are really keeping yourself from any type of real connection that you're gonna have. Now, we all have things, and sometimes we don't uncover them until well into a relationship, and so you have to be able to work through those things. But my biggest piece of advice to you when it comes to baggage is to handle your business. We've all heard it, and but the fact of it is that it's true. Your happiness is genuinely up to you. Fixing your issues is up to you. Someone else might have hurt you, but the healing part is up to you. So if you come into a relationship expecting him or her to fix your daddy issues, to rock you because your mother wouldn't, to help you feel popular because you didn't have any friends, guess what? That is not their responsibility. And if you're getting into a relationship to fix that, I encourage you, seek help. And I'm not being shady. I mean, it's a little shady, but I'm not being shady. My point is that you really can't expect someone to take care of all of your past traumas and still navigate and grow a healthy relationship with you. That work is internal. That work is on you. Relationships are not a place to cure, validate, or correct. You have to be able to do that work yourself. There is something special to be said about someone who is willing to support you through it, but they have to have limits. There need to be limits to what you expect from a partner. So when you're choosing these folks and you're coming through with connection, check that baggage at the door as best you can. The list. Oh, the list, honey. I know we all have one. I know I had one. I had about, carry the two, divide by, I too was guilty. Okay, I too walked that line, but I wrote out a list and it had a few qualities that I wanted, but what I thought I was doing, how I thought I was trying to be like slick with it, I was like, okay, God, if I could have these first few things on the list, everything else could be a bonus. If you just feeling your girl that much, you can throw this stuff in there for me as a bonus in my potential man, my potential mate. And it was ridiculous. And I felt perfectly fine doing it too. I mean, because that's Bible, right? Write the vision, make it plain. So I wanted to be very specific with God about what I was actually looking for. And I made this list, I folded it up, I put it in the Bible under one of my favorite verses that talks about love. I feel so ridiculous now, but only in the sense that I did not write that list from a place of God, show me your vision for me, and then help me find a mate in that way. I definitely did it from a place that was so fleshy. So what ended up happening was a friend of mine found my list and then asked me, what do you think somebody would say about you? Baby, it was a gut check. It was a gut check. It gave me a moment to be like, I wonder if I could, do I have what I'm asking for? Am I overreaching? Am I underreaching? If I met someone who had the same amount of wants and needs as I had on that list, would I be able to meet them? You see, the weird thing about lists is that it creates vision. You get to the point where you get so caught up in this piece of paper and this person that you've dreamed up that anything that doesn't look, sound, and feel like what you have been holding on to, maybe for years, absolutely just doesn't meet your standards. It's hard to allow things to flow naturally because you keep disqualifying people based upon this list. And believe it or not, I still believe in a list. But what I believe is that you have to look at what your intentions are behind finding a partner and then make your list. Do some internal work about what you can bring and then make your list. Ask God to give you a clear vision and then make your list. I think it's important to be intentional and clear about what you want, but be open to the way you receive it. And one last thing about the list that I think is kind of important to think about, they say in life, whatever's meant for you will not pass you by. And I believe that. But I also believe that you have to be careful about what you want because sometimes life will give it to you to prove a point. This one right here, okay? This one right here is gonna bless you, okay? Matter of fact, grab a pen. You have to go on dates. You actually have to get to know people. You gotta talk to people, you gotta go on dates. Weird. Do you know how annoying it is to hate dating, but also hate being single? Yeah, it's true. You're actually gonna have to go on dates. Your husband or wife or whoever is not gonna just show up at your door. That would be stalking. If you're on dating apps, have conversations, talk to people, see if you can get to know them. If dating apps aren't your thing, I understand that, but put yourself in a position where you actually can meet people. Go to networking events. Don't be afraid to throw a little something in the chat. There are little private chats that you can do, but you have to put yourself out there. You have to make some effort. You have to actually be available. People have to know that you're single. Whatever you do, just be safe, be smart, be willing to date and have conversations with multiple people because that's your business, and put yourself out there. Y'all, it is hard out here, no doubt about it, but I really do believe that there's still quality people that you can build and connect with. There are still good men, there are still good women, and I really hope that we help each other find each other. I do hope that we know that perfection is not something that you should be seeking because it is not something that you will find, but worthiness is. So it's possible. It can absolutely happen. And I wish the best for you and your adventures. Bye, y'all.